Hello. So to answer the first question, I think that all the information that we went over in the 8-week course does relate. If not directly, certainly they relate indirectly. The way I think about it is similar to how I think about anatomy when I was in school. So to learn the subject of anatomy, you take different systems, you break it up, you learn each system, and you can draw fairly complex webs interconnected to each topic. So you might not directly be able to relate the skeletal system to the nervous system very easily, but you can certainly easily direct the skeletal system to the muscular system to the nervous system and kind of draw a bridge and see a connection that way. And that's how I see this information. So anthropometrics might not seem to directly connect to early signs of musculoskeletal issues, but you can certainly draw a connection, or the financial side of things, to ergonomic risk assessment tools. But again, you can do so indirectly and come together at the end and realize every part needs to exist. If they didn't all exist and work together, there'd be a lot of lacking. There'd be some parts that couldn't even exist at all. And I think the first 3 weeks were all things that very much directly involve the things that I do on a regular basis as a fit for work provider. And the following weeks were a little bit more out of my wheelhouse. They're things that I don't necessarily do on a regular basis, but it's very helpful information to think about and to possibly learn more about and implement on the different sites that I work at and show more value, which is something I'm always trying to do. Come up with new ways to show that fit for work is valuable and is making a difference. To answer the second question, there were a few eye-opening moments. The one that stands out the most in my head is the anthropometrics. Learning about that subject, which, to be honest, I didn't know that was a subject. I didn't know that word was floating around the dictionary. And what was eye-opening was how incredibly complex it is, how much there is to that subject. It's very humbling to see that and know that that is a very important part of ergonomics, and without that, I wouldn't be as effective in doing what I do on a regular basis. So I'm very grateful that there are people out there that take the time to tackle that topic, that field, and it ultimately helped me do what I do. To answer the third question, I think there's a few different things that I'll be doing moving forward. One is I'd be using the Rula assessment tools more often. I think those are great and could benefit me a lot. And taking it upon myself to learn more about the physical demands analysis. And more broadly, just having a greater respect and appreciation for the world of ergonomics. It's very humbling to see all this information that you don't know about or even exists. And it reminds me of the saying, the more that I know, the more I know nothing. A lot of this stuff, like I said, I didn't really know it existed, and I'm very glad that there are people out there, again, that are tackling these topics and making what I do possible. So after this course, I'm going to see things in a more humbling, appreciative manner and be thankful that I'm able to do what I do in large part because of all these other courses and subjects that I didn't know much about. And the last question would be, what are some other big topics in the ergonomic world that we didn't possibly have time to go over? Certainly, I know we didn't go over every single detail to ergonomics. So, are there other topics out there that are very important that we just didn't have time to go over? And if so, would you be able to point me in the right direction on how to start looking at some of those topics so I can get a broad idea of what else is out there? And then lastly, I just wanted to say thank you to Lauren and especially James for all the work that you put into the course. It's much appreciated.